Miles Wei apologizes to Dylan Wang, explains hand-holding with Shen Yu. Before this story begins, stay with us until the very end, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments because what you are about to hear is not just an apology, it is the full truth behind a moment that nearly destroyed trust, careers, and friendships. It happened quietly, away from cameras, away from fans, and far from the noise of social media. No headlines announced it. No leaks revealed it at first. But when Miles Wei finally sat down to speak with Dylan Wang, everything changed. 4 days after the hand-holding scandal exploded, Miles Wei had remained silent. Fans questioned his intentions. Comment sections turned ruthless. Every old interview was reanalyzed. Every smile was dissected. Yet behind the scenes, Miles was struggling with something heavier than public judgment. Regret. According to sources close to the situation, Miles requested the meeting himself. Not through managers. Not through agencies. Directly. He wanted no misunderstandings. No intermediaries. Just honesty. When Dylan arrived, the room was tense. No greetings. No small talk. Just silence that stretched longer than either of them expected. Dylan sat across from Miles, his expression unreadable, his posture calm but guarded. Miles broke first. He apologized. Not casually. Not defensively. Slowly. Carefully. He told Dylan that the hand-holding moment with Shen Yu was never meant to cross a boundary. He explained that it happened during a moment of emotional exhaustion, after a long and difficult day. He said he acted without thinking about how it would look, how it would feel, and how deeply it could hurt someone watching from the outside. He looked Dylan in the eyes and said something that stunned everyone who later heard about it. "I never meant to disrespect you by holding her hand in public." Those words carried weight. Miles continued. He admitted that he underestimated the power of perception. He said he failed to consider Dylan's position, his history with Shen Yu, and the fragile trust already strained by pressure and silence. He took responsibility without excuses. Dylan listened without interruption. According to insiders, Dylan did not respond immediately. He leaned back, folded his hands, and stayed quiet for a long moment. That silence was not anger. It was reflection. When Dylan finally spoke, his voice was calm but firm. He told Miles that respect is not just about intention, it is about awareness. He explained that what hurt most was not jealousy, but the feeling of being dismissed by a moment that seemed careless. Miles nodded. He accepted that truth. He explained that his instinct was to offer comfort, nothing more. That he never imagined the moment would become a symbol of betrayal in the public eye. That he never wanted to be the reason trust collapsed. The conversation lasted over an hour. They talked about pressure, about fame, about how moments that feel small in private become enormous when watched by millions. Miles admitted that the industry teaches actors how to perform, but rarely teaches them how to protect relationships. Dylan shared his side too. He spoke about exhaustion, about constantly being watched, about how silence is often mistaken for strength. He said that seeing the video made him question not just Shen Yu, but the environment they were all trapped in. There was no shouting, no accusations, just truth. Miles ended the conversation with another apology, this time deeper, more personal. He said that regardless of outcomes, he wanted Dylan to know that the disrespect was never intentional, and that he would carry the lesson with him going forward. Dylan did not forgive instantly, but he acknowledged the apology. And in this story, that mattered. When news of the apology eventually reached the public, reactions were mixed. Some praised Miles for taking accountability. Others felt it came too late. Fans debated endlessly whether apologies can truly heal broken trust. Shen Yu remained silent during this time. Sources say she was aware of the meeting and respected the privacy of it. She reportedly expressed relief that clarity had finally entered a situation clouded by assumptions. In the days that followed, subtle changes were noticed. Dylan seemed lighter. Miles appeared more reserved. And Shen Yu slowly returned to work with a new sense of caution. No official statements followed. No public reconciliation. Just quiet movement forward. This was not a story of villains and heroes. It was a story of awareness, of accountability, of how one moment can ripple across lives when fame magnifies everything. Miles Wei learned that intention does not erase impact. Dylan Wang learned that silence does not always protect peace. And Shen Yu learned that even innocent moments require boundaries when the world is watching. And perhaps the most powerful part of this story is that it ended not with drama, but with understanding. After the private meeting ended, neither Miles Wei nor Dylan Wang spoke to the media. That silence was intentional. It was not avoidance. It was processing. Both men walked away carrying emotions that could not be summarized in a single statement. Miles left the room knowing that an apology does not erase impact. Even though he had explained himself clearly, he understood that trust is not repaired in a single conversation. Friends later revealed that Miles replayed the meeting repeatedly in his mind, questioning his actions and the moment that led them there. Dylan, on the other hand, returned home alone. He did not feel anger anymore. What remained was clarity. For the first time since the scandal began, he understood that the situation was not driven by malice, but by carelessness shaped by pressure and exhaustion. Still, understanding did not equal acceptance. Days passed quietly. No public appearances. No social media updates. Fans noticed the absence immediately. Speculation grew again, but this time it felt different. The chaos had softened into curiosity. Behind the scenes, Shen Yu was struggling with her own weight of responsibility. Sources say she was informed about the apology and felt both relief and sadness. Relief that Miles had spoken honestly. Sadness that the moment had ever happened at all. She reportedly reached out to Dylan with a long message. In it, she acknowledged her role in allowing the situation to escalate. She admitted that she should have been more aware, more cautious, and more open. She expressed regret for not communicating sooner and trusting silence instead of honesty. Dylan read the message. He did not reply immediately. Instead, he took time. Real time. Away from phones. Away from noise. He needed to decide not what the public wanted, but what he needed. During this period, those close to Dylan noticed a shift. He was calmer. More focused. Less reactive. He spent long hours training, reading, and reflecting. He began to understand that the scandal had revealed deeper truths about boundaries, expectations, and emotional responsibility. Miles Wei also changed. He became more reserved in public, more thoughtful in interviews, and more deliberate in interactions. Those around him said he had learned how quickly intentions can be misunderstood and how essential awareness truly is. Then came a moment no one expected. Weeks later, Dylan Wang finally responded to Shen Yu. The message was short, honest, and mature. He thanked her for acknowledging the situation. He said he appreciated the apology and clarity. But he also expressed that the trust they once shared had been shaken and would take time to rebuild, if it ever could. There was no accusation, no bitterness, just truth. Shen Yu accepted his words with grace. According to sources, she replied with understanding, saying she respected his need for distance and wished him peace regardless of the future. And with that, something quietly ended. Not with drama, not with confrontation, but with acceptance. The public never saw this exchange. No screenshots were leaked. No statements were released. Fans only noticed subtle changes. Dylan seemed more independent. Shen Yu focused inward. Miles Wei remained respectful and distant from controversy. Industry insiders later said this situation became a lesson shared quietly among peers. About how fame amplifies moments. About how boundaries matter. About how silence can harm more than honesty. In the end, this was not a story about rivalry or betrayal. It was about accountability. About choosing to face discomfort rather than hide behind image. Miles Wei owned his mistake. Dylan Wang protected his peace. Shen Yu learned the cost of unspoken assumptions. And the audience learned that not every story needs a dramatic ending to be meaningful. Sometimes, growth is quiet. Sometimes, closure happens without applause. And sometimes, the strongest ending is choosing to move forward with dignity. If you stayed until the end of this continuation, you now understand the full journey behind the apology, the explanation, and the emotional aftermath. If this story changed how you see Miles Wei, Dylan Wang, or Shen Yu, Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more exclusive behind-the-scenes stories, and comment below what lesson you think matters most from this situation. Because in a world driven by headlines, real growth often happens where cameras are not watching.